War has shattered the harmony of the Netherlands Indies. Less than a day's flight from the shores of the Australian continent, 70 million people live in these islands. Until overwhelmed by the hordes of Japan, they lived in undisturbed security, in harmony with themselves. These beautiful islands, with their mountain ranges, rivers and fertile valleys, form a natural storehouse of immense capacity, richly stocked from vast rice fields and numberless agricultural estates, yielding an infinite variety of valuable crops. For more than 300 years, the Dutch maintained harmony. Their basic policy was designed to enhance Indonesian culture by Western science and organization, without interfering with the religious traditions and old customs of the native peoples. The Indonesian is passionately devoted to the soil. He expects from it all that is necessary for his well-being and happiness. Before the darkness of total war engulfed Java, the island lay as we see it now, serene and tranquil. Undisturbed by the menacing shadow of war, the Indonesians tended their flocks in peace and contentment. They did not realize that hourly the shadow was growing, threatening their carefree happiness. That the perfect harmony in which they lived and worked with the Dutch was about to be shattered by a ruthless invader. The rivers of Java play a vital part in the life of the people. These rivers flow in shallow beds, making them safe for the people to wash and bathe in. They provide also an unlimited water supply for the irrigation channels which interlace the rice fields of Java. With slow, plodding tread, the buffalo, as the East Indian caribou are called, plough the fields and draw heavy loads of rice, of wood, and other products of field and forest. They are the native's most precious possession, apart from his land. Buffalo are yoked for their day's work, ready to cooperate in the labor of their masters. The Indonesians care for his buffalo as he does for himself. These rice fields were the life-givers of Java before the Japanese invasion. Under Dutch guidance, abundance of rice symbolized happiness to the native, because rice meant food and content. Rice is the barometer of good or bad times. The wise government of the Dutch left the tending of the rice field in the hands of the native, undisturbed by mechanical Western methods. The Indonesians may still be planting and tending their young rice, but no longer for their own benefit as in the days of peaceful Dutch rule. Then there was rice to spare, but today rice is severely rationed, and the Indonesians have ample opportunity of learning the true meaning of Japanese so-called co-prosperity. Each rice shoot must be planted separately and reaped individually by hand. This method obviously creates high-pressure periods of labor. Whole villages turn out in a body and work shoulder to shoulder for the welfare of the community. Bundles of young rice shoots are brought from the seed beds. These women separate the seedlings and plant them. The Indonesian women acquire remarkable accuracy in setting out the seedlings. After the rice has been harvested, the countryside echoes with the sound of rice threshing. In every village, the women folk are busy threshing and sifting the crop, the very staff of life for millions of Indonesians. Once these young women were happy in their work, but today, under the yoke of the Japanese military machine, they are the forced laborers of their temporary masters. After the rice has been harvested, the land, instead of lying fallow, is immediately planted with another crop, thus following a rule of rotation cropping made possible by the richness of the soil. In some parts of the Indies, sugar follows rice. The sugar industry has brought a great measure of prosperity to the native people. Once again, we see man and beast peacefully and patiently plowing the good earth in readiness for the planting of sugarcane. The women prepare the young cane shoots for planting, but as with rice, the men plough and hoe the fields, leaving the lighter work, cutting and planting, to the women. The young cane shoots are deftly planted in prepared and irrigated channels. Each shoot has its right place. As with all agricultural development in these islands, the correct procedure has been achieved by the pursuance of a highly scientific agricultural policy, one which made use of the best in both traditional Eastern and modern Western methods. This achievement was only attained by the willing cooperation of the Indonesians with the Dutch, by the efficiency and courageous enterprise of the Europeans. Both have studied the culture of the soil. Both have used their knowledge to improve production in the interest of the whole community. Without this cooperation, the land could never have supported so many millions of people. Whole villages turn out to work in the fields, for the land is generally communal property. After a hard day's work, this native group enjoy a simple lunch in a corner of the cane field. Their lunch has been brought from the village, done up in neat little palm leaf packs. The Indonesian appreciates a cigarette after a meal. He smokes a special type of tobacco wrapped in the flakings of a maize leaf. The young cane is tended until it is fully grown and ready for harvesting. When harvest time arrives, the men of the village turn out into the fields, bringing the cane. The cane is not cut, but pulled out by the roots, trimmed with the help of sharp reaping hooks. The organization of the village workers is left to their own foreman, who directs the work of cutting, trimming, tacking, and packing in the rail truck. Laden with freshly cut cane, the sugar train goes on its way to the factory. The extensive railway system covers the cane field area. It is no uncommon sight to see two trains moving side by side on their way to the factory. At the factory, the cane is crushed, processed, and milled under modern hygienic conditions until sugar is ready for the world's market. Meanwhile, harvesting is still going on all over the countryside. When the cane has been trucked to the factory, the debris of the fields is collected and burnt. This has a twofold purpose. It cleans the field and provides ash as fertilizer. The foreman, well satisfied by the day's work, rearranges his headdress. Perhaps his pleased smile